Hi everyone. So, as mentioned in the title, we'll today be discussing what exactly is this Genocide Convention, right? So, this is a convention which entered into force in 1951, and it is now considered part of customary international law. We will discuss what customary international law is maybe in some other video, but let's look at what this genocide convention is. So it entered into force, as mentioned, in 1951. It it was entered into, so it's not necessary for you to be a UN member state to be a party to this convention. So at present, there are about 153 parties to this convention. There are a lot of countries which have not signed on to this convention. As you know, there are 194 countries, and there are also countries which have, while they have signed on to this convention, they have expressed also their reservations on what they will not apply from that convention to their own states, such as prosecuting their own citizens would require special permission of their own government. So there are examples for this, such as the US has expressed reservations. Uh, uh, India has also expressed reservations of this nature. So there are various such reservations which countries have expressed while agreeing to this convention. Now, there is, of course, the concept of signing and ratifying the convention. So there is signature that went on, and then there was this ratification. After 20 countries ratified this convention, it entered into force. Now, let's look at some of the parts of the convention. So it defines what constitutes the crime of genocide. Number one. Now, the crime of genocide, of course, includes the killing of people in whole or in part of a racial, national, or ethnic group, or this is a first. But apart from the killing of people, it also includes physical injury to whole or part of that group. It also includes conditions of life that are implemented to bring about destruction of that group in whole or in part. Apart from that, what it also includes is the forcible transfer of children from one group to another. So, as you can see, this convention defines genocide very broadly, which means killing, injuring, implementing conditions of life to bring about the destruction in whole or in part, preventing births. So this is another thing. So if you are preventing births within a group, that will also come within the convention of genocide. And the fifth is transferring children, which does not include either killing or say physically injuring, but the very fact that you are transferring children of one group to another is can be seen as a form of cultural genocide to bring about in whole or in part the destruction of a group. And there is no distinction about whether it's an ethnic group or racial group or national group, right? So this is an all-encompassing definition of genocide. Now let's look at what are the kind of things that it wants to punish. So first, it wants to punish, of course, genocide, but apart from it, it also wants to punish any sort of conspiracy to commit genocide, right? It also punishes if you have any sort of complicity in genocide. Uh, Apart from that, it also punishes the very public incitement to genocide. So you may not have committed a genocide, but the very fact that you have publicly incited people to commit a genocide on a certain group is a crime that is punishable under this international treaty. Apart from that, what is also punishable is, of course, the attempt to commit genocide. So there is genocide, there is conspiracy, the complicity, the attempt, and of course the public incitement to genocide. Now, one of the things that it does not do is, however, define what are the kind of punishments for each of those crimes. What which crime say is more severe than the other, or any of that sort. So that is not defined in this treaty. It's also not defined what are the kind of punishments that have to be meted out. Now, it also is does not specify any specific court where this they can be punished. So it uh, implores on all states to set up domestic courts or tribunals to punish the crime of genocide. It also specifies that any state where who is a party to this convention can also try this genocide if it is not possible, for example, to try it in the country where it has happened. So other countries who are parties can also try this uh, in their in a different country, essentially. Uh, there can be, of course, if you see examples, there have been international tribunals on Yugoslavia, right, to punish what is seen as the Srebrenica genocide, right? Srebrenica massacre or Srebrenica genocide, the Bosnian genocide. So that is one of those examples. Uh, uh, so if you see the prominent examples where genocide has been countries have been accused of genocide and they have um, uh, uh, tried to initiate cases. So you could see there's the Myanmar genocide case. There is the Russian invasion which happened of Ukraine. So that has been also taken up as a genocide case by the ICJ. And the most recent one being, of course, South Africa's case against Israel in the ongoing genocidal campaign in Gaza. Uh, Apart from that, you will also see that there is the Rwandan genocide that has happened, and where there was a lot of hue and cry about how the UN did not act in time for genocide, for for preventing that kind of genocide. Now, if you see the convention, the Genocide Convention also mentions that any disputes uh, as to whether something is or is not a genocide, or as to the interpretation of any of the clauses or sections of the articles of this convention. These have to be referred to the ICJ. So the International Court of Justice is recognized as the court which will be arbitrating or essentially interpreting this treaty and any of its provisions, which is why South Africa has approached the International Court of Justice for its case against Israel, where it has asked that Israel has a responsibility to prevent the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Similarly, in the case of Rohingya genocide in 2017, uh, they were asked, the Myanmarese government was asked that it has a responsibility to prevent the genocide of the Rohingya people in Myanmar. As you can see, a lot of those cases have happened there. So there is another interesting thing where African American people in the US had written to the UN that there is an ongoing genocide of the black or the African American people in the US. This was seen as an abuse of the system of this convention for reasons that we can discuss in detail in some other video. So what we want to do is to basically see what this law is. It's a customary international law, as mentioned. It entered into force in 1951 after its ratification by 20 countries. Uh, at present, there are 150 countries which are signatories and ratifiers of this convention. There are people who have ratified it with reservations. Examples are the US, India, and several other countries. It's defines genocide to include killing, hurting, transferring children, or preventing births or conditions or imposing conditions of life to bring about the destruction in whole or in part a certain racial, ethnic, or national group. It defines what are the kind of crimes that could be punished, which is the crime of genocide, the crime of complicity in genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, but also a public incitement to genocide, those can be punished. It does not, there is a drawback where it does not specify what are the kind of punishments that have to be meted out, and what is, if there is any fixed designated code. So for each of those crimes, there are ad hoc tribunals which are currently being set up, uh, whether it's in the case of Yugoslavia or some other countries. So as you can see, at present, of course, there is ICC. We will also discuss what ICC is and what Rome Statute is in some other video, where apart from genocide, there are other crimes which have been recognized. Now, ICJ, after ICJ, ICC is seen as the first sort of institution which could essentially enforce this whatever this convention says, which is to punish people who are committing genocide. Although ICC is not a direct byproduct of this genocide convention, but this ICC is also an additional tribunal where it has been recognized as a complementary institution apart from the domestic courts, which are empowered through this treaty to try the crime of genocide. This is all that we wanted to discuss today. Thanks everyone for watching. Do share, do like, do comment, and do let me know what all videos you want me to make. Thank you.